Hello everyone and welcome back to the flight deck of this beautiful Boeing 777. In this video I will show you how to climb an aircraft, and we will talk about different autopilot modes. So a simple little video about climbing an aircraft, and I'm going to show you here on a flight from Frankfurt to Hamburg. We will talk about different modes as soon as we are airborne. So let's get started. We are airborne, just climbing out of Frankfurt after takeoff check was complete, and you can see our altitude selector is selected for 10,000 feet or flight level 100. So this is what the airplane will respect. Currently we are in VNAV speed, so the airplane is climbing in VNAV, which means it is following all the altitude constraints we have set on our legs page. For example, if we would have set 5,000 feet, flight level 50, whatever, at Delta Foxtrot 161, it would respect this altitude, even though we have set flight level 100. Of course, there are different modes to climb. We can change to vertical speed anytime. We can just click vertical speed, and you can see the speed, vertical speed window on our FMA opens. This box up here is called the FMA, and now we can see speed window opens, speed 250, vertical speed 2600 plus, so climbing. And now I can adjust my vertical speed. Now the airplane will fly exactly the vertical speed I have set up here, and of course I can also set my desired speed. For example, 240 knots. You can see 240 knots is now set up here. For example, if ATC gives you a restriction to climb at 1000 feet per minute, you can make your life easy and go to vertical speed plus 1000, and you can set the exact climb rate or vertical speed as required by ATC. And many people probably have noticed this button here, flight level change. We can also use this one. If we hit flight level change, we can see flight level change speed, throttle. This mode pitches to our desired airspeed. So it's gonna maintain 240 knots, and it is using pitch to maintain the speed. So of course, if I will increase my speed during a climb to 260, for example here, the airplane has to pitch down in order to reach this desired airspeed. So if I further increase it, maybe we can see it better. So the airplane has to pitch down in order to reach 305 knots. So you can see our climb rate has reduced because it needs to pitch down in order to reach our higher desired airspeed of 305 knots. Let's turn up the altitude selector here to flight level 150, so I have some more time to explain it. And of course, the opposite would happen if I would turn down my desired airspeed here. I will show you in a second. So there we go. We're slowly approaching our desired speed of 305 knots. And as soon as we're established on those 305 knots, it's going to maintain 305 knots. And you can see as well our increased rate of climb. There we go. We're almost at 305 knots. And the difference in flight level change to VNAV is that in flight level change, you have to monitor all speed restrictions. For example, we're below flight level 100 and we're already above 250 knots, which is usually not approved because in general there's a speed restriction below flight level 100 to fly a maximum speed of 250 knots. In VNAV you would have to override this, because in VNAV it will always respect your speed constraints, and the airplane is set up in such a way that if you are in VNAV and below flight level 100, it will not accelerate above 250 knots unless you put it into the FMC. If we want to climb even faster to flight level 200, maybe ATC tells us to expedite our climb, the easiest way is to turn down the speed, because now the airplane will pitch up in order to lose the speed, so it will trade airspeed for altitude. And you can see now we're getting pretty crazy climb rates, 5,000 feet per minute. We are expediting our climb towards our flight level 200, and we have around 2,500 feet to go until we are reaching flight level 200. And it is a good practice, if you're getting close to your desired flight level, to go to vertical speed and turn down your climb rate in order to avoid any TCAS alerts because of traffic above. Because if you climb with a pretty big climb rate towards your final flight level and there's an airplane sequenced above you, maybe in 1,000 feet above you, it is highly likely that you get a TCAS RA if your climb rate is excessive. So in that case, usually what you want to have is plus 1,000 feet of climb rate, approaching your desired flight level 1,000 feet before that. So what I usually do is 2,000 feet, so flight level 180, hit vertical speed, go to 1,500 and turn it down to plus 1,000. And of course, if you see there's traffic above you, you can even reduce your climb rate just to be sure that you avoid any kind of TCAS conflicts. We're at flight level 200, but of course, if we take a look at our active economy climb page, or let's call it the climb page, our desired cruise flight level will be flight level 320. And you can see our economy speed. It is the speed the airplane has calculated considering the weight and our cost index. So our scheduled climb speed would be 293 knots until we are reaching a Mach number of 0.786, and then on conversion we will climb with a constant Mach number of 0.786. But of course right now we are not in VNAV, that's why we have the speed window and altitude window open. So 260 knots, flight level 200. If I would go to VNAV, let's observe. Now we can see a VNAV alt, and VNAV alt is telling us we are not at our desired flight level yet, because we are at flight level 200 instead of flight level 320. And you can see automatically our speed has changed to 293 knots, because 293 knots is selected here on our climb page. So now we are accelerating to 293 knots. Below here in the corner you can see our Mach number 0.62 and climbing, but we're still below our desired Mach number 0.78. But as soon as we are establishing a climb at our crossover altitude, we're going to climb with a constant Mach number, and I will show you here in a second. So we're in VNAV. This window is blank, but of course you can click the speed selector, and now you can also manually adjust the speed in VNAV. If ATC clears us for a further climb, let's say flight level 280, nothing happens. So what do? You come to your altitude selector and you click it. There you go, thrust ref, VNAV speed. You can see the engines are powering up and the airplane starts to climb. The airplane maintains 293 knots until flight level 280. And the same goes for VNAV. If I go to speed intervention and I turn down my speed, you can see our climb rate will increase. It's the same as flight level change. If I push it again, we're back to 293 knots. So we're still in VNAV speed climb, and you can see our thrust is set at climb power. Of course you can change this setting here. If you go to your init ref page, the thrust limit page will open, and you can further reduce your climb power to climb 1, for example. Then the engines will use less power to climb. Of course your climb rate will decrease, but a lot of companies use this in order to save engine life. But because this is a sim, we're gonna select climb. So the highest setting we can use for our climb, we use the maximum climb setting we have available. So climb, climb 1, climb 2. Climb 2 being the lowest of all of them. And we're about to approach flight level 280. So once again, I will hit vertical speed. Speed window would open. I will try to match this speed to our VNAV speed. 1000 feet of climb rate in order to avoid any TCAS conflicts. There we go, 1000 to go. We got about 300 feet to go. Soon we will capture our altitude. There we go, alt, telling us we're not in VNAV. If I switch to VNAV, we're back in VNAV alt. Now if we want to climb to our cruise flight level 320, once again, press the altitude selector, thrust ref, VNAV speed, and now we're climbing to our desired cruise level. So we're now on the first page, on the VNAV page. If we go to the second one, which is our cruise page, we can see our recommended and optimum flight level. So optimum flight level would be 374. This is obviously a flight level we cannot choose. We could choose flight level 360, for example, or 340. Let's say we're cleared to flight level 340, and I've selected 340. The airplane will stop at flight level 320 because flight level 320 is still selected as our final cruise flight level. If you press the VNAV key, you will always go to the active VNAV page. For now, it's active economy climb because we're still in a climb. You can see our Mach number is slowly increasing to our desired 0.785, and as soon as it changes to 0.785, the number up here will change to our Mach number 0.785. There we go. The speed window has changed to 0.785. Now we're climbing at a constant Mach number, and you can see the indicated airspeed will decrease in order to keep a constant Mach number. And if the simulator here is correct, we should level off at flight level 320. There we go, speed VNAV path. And now we're on the path because we are at our desired cruise flight level of 320. And there we go, the airplane or the FMC automatically switches to active economy cruise. Now we're in the cruise phase of our flight. We have set flight level 340, but the airplane is disregarding this setting because it is adhering to our VNAV constraints. But in order to climb to flight level 340, we can click it again, thrust ref, VNAV speed, and now you can see active economy cruise climb. We're in a cruise climb, but our flight level or our cruise flight level has automatically adjusted to flight level 340. One more thing I wanted to show you, for example, if we decide to climb further to flight level 380, we can do so again by pushing the altitude selector. Maybe ATC will give us a speed restriction. We could do it either by speed intervention, and we can go to click this button, indicate airspeed Mach. So now we can select a Mach number. But of course we could also do it via the FMC. So we can type in 0.80. We can see our selected speed Mach 0.80, and the execute button will illuminate. There we go, execute. And disregard this message. So there we go, our updated cruise flight level 380, and now our selected speed of 0.80. We can see 0.80, 380, and we're climbing. So I hope this video gave you a brief overview on how to use the MCP in order to establish a climb. Obviously there's way more to know and to do, especially concerning the VNAV, but those features should help you next time you're flying in your flight simulator at home and you're trying to establish a climb, and maybe you're wondering why is the airplane not climbing, and hopefully now you know. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you at the next one.